Hello everyone, Darzimus here, formerly known as Legendary Legend for those who are new here. Today I've got a new gameplay, or... well, I don't know if I can say this is a gameplay, because this is Fate Senai Ryuto Nuwa, the original visual novel that started the Fate franchise. So we're going to do a lot of reading today, but this should be really cool. I'm excited to get into this, and I'm just going to start it up. Oh, I don't want to skip anything. I'm the bone of my sword, steels my body, and fires my blood. I have created over 1,000 blades, unknown to death, nor known to life. Have withstood... I apologize. Have withstood pain... guess I messed up there. When I came to you, I was burning in a field. I guess there was a big fire. The familiar town had turned to ashes and it looked like the remains of a battlefield from a movie. But that didn't last long either. The fire died down by the time the sun rose. The tall wall of flame had shortened, and most of the buildings had fallen. It felt strange being the only thing in that place that still had its original form. I was the only one still alive around here. I must have been really lucky, or my house built in a very lucky spot. I don't know which it was, but the point is, I was the only one left alive. I felt that since I survived, I should live on. I started walking aimlessly, because I thought it would be dangerous to just stay there. I wasn't really concerned about getting burned out like the people lying around me. Probably because over and above not wanting to be like them, I had a stronger feeling in my mind. But still, I had no hope. It was already a wonder I was still alive, so I couldn't expect to be saved. I won't survive. Whatever happens, I won't be able to escape from this red world. It was such an absolute hell that even a small child could understand it. And I collapsed. Was it because there was no air? Was it because no function was left in my body? Anyway, I collapsed and I stared up at the clouded sky. Everything around me was burned up and I could see many shriveled people. The dark clouds loomed ahead, telling me it would rain soon. That's good, the fire we put out once it rains. In the end, I sighed deeply and looked up at the sky. I say to myself that it hurts. I say so on behalf of all the people who couldn't even say so. That was 10 years ago. After that, I was miraculously saved. My body survived. But I think all other things about me burned up and were reduced to ashes. If you take away a child's parents, home, and all such things, there's nothing left for him. That's why there was only my body. I think it's a simple story. In other words, in order to let my body live, my heart died. I'm dreaming. Huh? I squint my eyes at the white light. So bright, I think. It was just light entering my eyes when I woke up, but I'm not used to it. I probably didn't even realize what the bright light meant. When my eyes focus, I'm surprised. I'm lying on an unfamiliar bed in an unfamiliar room. I'm surprised, but the room is so white and clean that I feel safe. I look around. The room is big and there are many books. Beds, why did I say books? A person's in each bed and everyone seems to be hurt. But nothing feels ill in this room. Everyone who was hurt is someone who was saved. I relaxed and let my eyes wander. Outside the window, the bright blue sky was unbelievably beautiful. After a few days, I finally understood. I could clearly remember what had happened in the past few days. Even so, I was no different from a newborn baby. Not just a metaphor, it was close to the truth. Anyway, it was a terrible fire. I had been saved from it, was in the hospital with my body wrapped in bandages, and my parents were gone. I didn't get the situation, but I vaguely understood that I was alone. I think I understood that quickly. Well, there was nothing but children in similar situations around me, so all I could do was absorb the fact. And after that, that man came, right when I was beginning to worry what would happen to me next. He came on the day my bandages were taken off and I was able to eat without help. Wrinkled coat and uncombed hair. The man, a bit younger than the doctor, felt more like a big brother than a father.
こんにちは。君がシロー君だね。
And I'm not gonna read what is. I'm not gonna read this spoken dialogue unless you guys really want me to. So just put down in the comments which way you'd rather have it, and we'll whatever I see most of, I'll just go with that. A smile that seems to melt into the white sunlight. I think it was a suspicious voice. Ooh, was he red? But a very kind voice.
率直に聞くけど、孤児院に預けられるのと、初めて会ったおじさんに引き取られるの、君はどっちがいいかな？
That man was saying he could adopt me. When I asked him if he was a relative of mine, he said he was just a stranger. He looked like an unreliable guy with no future. Wow, Jiro, real nice of you. But it made no difference as I knew nothing about either one, him or the orphanage. So I decided to go with him.
そうか、よかった。なら早く身支度を済ませよう。新しい家に一日でも早く慣れなくっちゃいけないからね。
The guy quickly started packing my stuff. His packing wasn't very good, and even in the eyes of a child. Then, after making a big mess...
おっと、大切なことを言い忘れた。うちに来る前に、一つだけ教えなくちゃいけないことがある。
Is that okay? He turns to me lightheartedly and says, Yeah.
はじめに言っておくとね、僕は魔法使いなんだ。
He said it in a serious, exaggerated tone. It happened in an instant. Come to think of it now, I was really a child back then. I automatically believed those words.
じいさんすごいな。
I guess I said so with bright eyes. Since that time, I became his child. Actually, I don't remember what I said back then. But my father would always talk about that day. He would remember and retell the story again and again. So for my father, Kiritsugu Emiya, that might have been the happiest day of his life. So, I guess it was strange for my father to tell me that he was a sorcerer, but I was strange as well for admiring that. And thus, I became an adopted son, and my last name became Emiya. Emiya Shiro. When I said my name, I was really proud of having the same name as Kiritsugu. I'm dreaming. A story from my childhood. It was when I finally convinced my father to make me his student, so it must have been about 8 years ago. When I was old enough to stay at home by myself, Kiritsugu started to leave the house on a regular basis. He would say in his normal tone that he would travel the world and actually act on these words. That's how I was after that. It was normal for him to leave the house empty for a month, and he sometimes wouldn't come home for half a year. That is crazy. Like, he's Just leaving his son for half a year at a time. Wow. The MS was a big Japanese-style house, not surprising, and Kiritsugu and I were the only ones living there. I was perplexed in this house at times, as it was too big for a child. But still, I liked my life here. Amiya Kiritsugu would come home from his journeys and tell me lots of stories like a child. And the child who shared his last name would be home waiting for those stories. I was always alone in the house, but that loneliness would all fade with the stories he brought back. The father was always chasing his dreams like a kid. His attitude was astounding, and he always seemed dazzling to me. That might be why I wanted to be like him someday. Well, on top of that, looking at my ever-dreaming father, I thought I should become reliable myself. One out of 31. Oh! It's just 31 days. Is that what this is? Day 1 of 31? Okay, I'm supposed to click there. I hear a sound. I hear a heavy, old, rusty sound as the door opens. Light enters the dark shed. My mind, waking up.
先輩、起きてますか？
Feels the cold air and the approaching footsteps.
おはよう、さくら。
はい、おはようございます、先輩。
Sakura smiles and nods as if accustomed to the situation.
先輩、朝ですよ。まだ時間はありますけど、ここで眠っていたら藤村先生に怒られます。
そうだな。よく起こしに来てくれた。いつもすまない。
そんなことありません。先輩、いつも朝は早いですから。こんな風に起こしに来れるなんてたまにしかありません。
Sakura seems more upbeat than usually, as if she's happy about something.
そうかな。結構さくらには起こされてるぞ、俺。けど藤姉には叩き起こされるからさくらの方が助かる。これに懲りずに次は頑張る。
I answer with a sleepy head. I don't know what I'm saying with my mind and not fully awake.
はい、わかりました。でも頑張ってもらわない方が嬉しいです、私。
Sakura's giggling. Yeah, I guess my head was still dozing off and I said something weird.
ちょっと待ってくれ。すぐ起きるから。
Taking a deep breath, I clear my mind. The cold outdoor air helps in a situation like this. The chill works well to beat the sleepiness out of my head. In front of me is Mato Sakura, my junior at high school. This place is shed behind my house, and the time is 6 o'clock.
先輩、
目が覚めた。ごめんな、さくら。またやっちまった。朝の支度手伝わないといけないのに。
そんなのいいんです。先輩、夕べも遅かったんでしょ。なら朝はゆっくりしてください。
Sakura says so in a happy tone. It's unusual. Sakura really seems to be in a good mood this morning.
バカ、そういうわけにいくか。今起きるから一緒にキッチンに行こう。よし、準備完了。それじゃあ行こう、さくら。
いえ、その先輩。
なんだよ、他になんかあるのか。
いえ、そういうことではないんですけど、その先輩、家に戻る前に着替えた方がいいと思います。
That said, I looked down at myself. I fell asleep while I was working, so I'm still wearing my overalls. being my work clothes, they're pretty dirty. I can't imagine what Fujini would say to me if I went to the house like this.
まだ目が覚めてないみたいだ。なんか普段に増して抜けてるな、俺。
そうかもしれませんね。ですから朝食の支度は私に任せて、先輩はもう少しゆっくりしていてください。
そうだな。それじゃあ着替えてから行くから、さくらは先に戻っていてくれ。
はい、お待ちしてますね、先輩。
Sakura leaves. Well, after changing into my school uniform and clean up this mess. The shed is built on the edge of our yard, and just as it seems, it's a warehouse we put all our junk in. But for me, it's a place of treasures as I've enjoyed messing with things since I was a kid. Father wouldn't allow me to go into the shed, but I always sneaked in there. As a result, it became my base. For me and Miyashiro, I guess you could say this place is my real room. The big Emi household doesn't suit me, and I can only relax in this space full of junk.
そもそももったいないじゃないか。ガラクタって言ってもまだ使えるし。
Most of the things in here are appliances that can't be used anymore. Did I bring all the junk in here because I like the place, or did I kind of like it because of all the junk? Anyway, since I was always sneaking in here, it became my hobby to fix the broken things. It's not like I get attached to things. I think it just annoys me not to use things that can still be used. And just like that, I was fixing up the stove all last night.
完成は明日か。途中で寝るなんて集中力が足りない証拠だ。
I shake off the feeling of disappointment in myself. I gather up the parts of the stove and put them on the shelf full of things waiting to be fixed. There are no spaces on the shelf full of things awaiting repair. An old VCR waits after the stove. I guess I'll ignore the fact that Fujini broke both of them. I changed into my uniform. This place is like my room. It holds changes of clothes along with other things I need. It also has lots of blueprints and junk, the result of failures from when I do my training. There's also some kind of old design inscribed on the floor, like an altar or something.
さて、今日も一日頑張って精進しよう。
I had my hairs in prayer to the shed. I head for the house. I emerged from the shed. The in my house is a Japanese-style house, not surprising, on the outskirts of town. My father wasn't much of a respected person in town, but he somehow still had this huge house. That in its own was a mystery, but it also seems he didn't have any relatives in Japan. That's why the house became mine and no one else's when my father died. Though I have to be honest, I don't have that kind of management ability. The old man Fujimura is in charge of the complicated things like inheritance and property taxes. Old man Fujimura is the big landlord in this neighborhood. According to father, the old man's like a Yakuza boss. Of course, this is just prejudice. He's not like, quote-unquote, a Yakuza boss, he is a Yakuza boss. Well, that's a problem in itself, but I prefer to ignore it. That's kind of funny. It's not true that he's energetic and scary, but he's actually not that bad a person. He really helps me because he pays a lot when I tune up the motorcycle he likes to ride. Anyway, that's why I'm the only one living in this big house. It's been 5 years since father died. The days have passed quickly. I sigh, thinking about how much I've grown those past 5 years. I've trained every day to be like Kiritsugu, but it's not that easy in reality. It's natural because I had no chance to begin with, but what can be said about having no improvement at all in 5 years? To sum up the present in one sentence, my goal is so far away that I'm not even at the starting line yet. No, I guess it won't do any good to rush. For now, I have to do what I can. Well then, right now I should. Alright, we got our first choice here. Now, I would like to help Sakura, but I think we're gonna go and do our daily routine. The Emmy house is a big dojo. It was built when the house was built. Not surprising. It was only intended as a hobby.
さて
I'll warm up a bit before breakfast. I'm not really studying martial arts, but since father told me if you want to be like me, you have to train your body first. It became my daily routine to work out. That's good. You want to be fit.
99 100
I finished my routine sit-ups and changed out of my gi to my uniform. Man, 100 sit-ups? I couldn't do that. I slept in this morning, so I cut short of my workout. Some sit-ups and a little stretching should be enough. I'm not that kind of build up a lot of muscle, and it's not like I want to get into a fight. All I need is enough athletic ability to handle sudden accidents and to move as I wish when I have to. After all, the thing I want to become is the complete opposite of an athlete.
もうこんな時間か
I put this sweaty gi into the laundry basket. It's 6:20. In our house, even this is a late time for breakfast. 6:20? I'm not even awake at 6:20. Breakfast is already prepared. I can smell the elegant scent of breakfast befitting Sakura.
お疲れ様でした。こっちも朝食の支度終わりましたよ。
サンキュー。すまん。俺が寝過ごした分、さくらに無理させちまって。
そんな、全然無理なんかじゃないですよ。それに、寝坊なんかじゃありません。先輩は部活をしていないんですから、この時間は十分に早起きです。
部活は関係ないよ。それを言ったら朝練があるさくらがうちに来てくれるのってすごい早起きじゃないか。
いえ、私は好きでしていることですから部活のことは気にしないでください。
まあだから俺も部活に関係なく早起きしたいんだ。さくらが来てくれるならその時間には起きてないと失礼だろ。
For me, waking up early is waking up before Sakura gets here, and sleeping in is making Sakura prepare breakfast on her own, like today. Though this has only been a habit for a year and a half or so. A year and a half! And then you're gonna say that you feel bad about it? Good. Pick up your act.
先輩、そういうところこだわりますよね。三辻先輩、エミヤは粗雑なくせに律儀すぎてうるさいって。
Sakura smiles as if remembering it. Mitsuzuri is the captain of the archery club Sakura is in, and someone I have a lot of acquaintance with.
あいつまだ俺への文句をさくらにこぼしてんのか。
はい。先輩が卒業するまでに何としても社でを鳴らせてやるって毎日頑張ってます。
今じゃあいつのが段位高いだろうに。あれかな、思い出は無敵ってやつかな。美化されてるのは悪い気分じゃないけど、それも人によりけりっていうか。
三辻先輩、すっごく負けず嫌いですから、きっと心の中で先輩をライバルみたいに思ってますよ。
Sakura puts rice into a bowl as she talks. It's almost 6:30. The archery club's morning practices starts at 7. It's not mandatory, but you can't afford to take it easy.
藤根はそろそろか。ま、この時間に来ない方が悪いんだし。さくら、先に食べていいよ。
そうですね。はい、どうぞ先輩。
Sakura hands me the bowl with a smile. Then, I'm used to this every morning, but her white fingers catch my eye. How can I put this? It's troubling. She must be trained as she seems really feminine these days. Her casual moves are beautiful and she often takes my breath away. Perhaps it's a reaction not feeling anything for until now, but I'm noticing more and more feminine characteristics in her.
先輩、どうかしましたか？
いや、どうもしてない。どうもしてないから気にしないでくれ。
Honestly, why am I feeling tense around my friend's sister? Isn't Sakura Shinji's sister? I don't remember Shinji and Shiro being friends. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the anime, but I don't. That doesn't sound right. Anyways, on with the show. She's a good underclassman and a junior I need to take care of. First of all, the relationship between me and Mato Sakura is just that of a senpai and a junior. She's the sister of a close friend of mine, but since she's a grade below me, we weren't that close. It all changed a year and a half ago when this cooperative... What? Oh. This might be me, this might be the translation. I'm just gonna put this here, nothing this seems like a good place to put it. This is translated by fans, since this never got like an official translation, so some of the dialogue is weird and sometimes I can't read. So this is gonna be a little bit of a rough ride. It all changed a year and a half ago into this cooperative kind of relationship. Sakura came to cook when I was injured, and after that, I think we just ended up like this. I think we intended to do it until my injury healed, but some trivial thing came out to make her stay with it. Anyways, Sakura's a good cook, and perfect at cleaning and doing the laundry. She's been a big help around here, and it's been a bit troubling recently. Problem's not in Sakura, but me. Frankly, Sakura is beautiful. She's one of the best looking fursuitas, and I'm sure there are a lot of guys who want to date her. And on top of that, nope. And some of her casual gestures have started catching my eye. That's only my small problem. Maybe I'm just feeling guilty of being attracted to my friend's sister. Usually I'm fine, but when I'm caught off guard like this just now, I blush. Does this make me an unsuitable senpai? Breakfast is placed on the table. A perfect breakfast consisting of chicken salad, cooked salmon, spinach, radish, and carrot miso soup, and yam soup. That is a lot. Like, I usually eat breakfast, but I would never eat that much, let alone that kind of food. That seems like lunch and dinner food.
Itadakimasu.
Sakura and I bow and start our meal quietly. The sounds of our chopsticks echo. Sakura's the talkative type, and I'm not versatile enough to talk about eating. Naturally, mealtimes are quiet. Usually it's louder, but today the loud person is. She must have been watching spy movies last night as she's eyeing us while hiding behind a newspaper.
内村先生、ご飯時に新聞は見ない方がいいと思いますよ。
Fujini ignores Sakura's question. She's acting weird, but Fujini always acts in suspicious ways during breakfast. Suspicious, you say? Is she the imposter? Are you sure? Sakura must be used to it as she continues to eat with no particular care. Sakura prefers to make Western foods. She learned to cook Japanese food after she started coming here to help. Fujini and I prefer Japanese, so Sakura learned to make Japanese food for our breakfast. Now she's so good that she's almost surpassed me, her teacher. The salmon is especially good as it's cooked to perfection. Her capacity for miso soup is tasty, and she has shown some capacity even for making yam soup by grinding yams. Actually, this is the first time she's made it.
悪い。さくら、醤油取って。
大変です先輩。先輩のお醤油は昨日で切れてます。
じゃあ藤姉のでいいや。取って。
藤村先生、いいですか？
Fujini nods. The newspaper trembles.
はいどうぞ。とろろ汁に使うんですか？
ああ、とろろには醤油だろう、普通。
But the soy sauce is the white yam soup. After stirring it, I put it on the rice and take a bite. The stickiness of the yam and the taste of the soy sauce.
うわ、まずっ、これソースだぞ、ソース。しかもオイスタ
I almost throw it back up. And then... Fujini throws her newspaper away.
どうだ、朝のうちにソースとお醤油のラベルを取り替えておく作戦なのだ。
The female spy throws up her arms to show her happiness.
朝っぱらから何考えてんだあんたは。今年で25のくせにいつまでたっても藤根は藤根だな。
ふんだ、昨日の恨み思い知ったか。みんなと一緒になってお姉ちゃんをいじめるやつには当然の天罰ってところかしら。
天罰ってのは人為的なもんじゃないだろう。なんかおとなしいと思ったら昨日からこんなこと考えてやがったのか。
そうだよ、おかげでこれから急いでテストの採点しなくちゃいけないんだから。そういうわけで急がないとやばいのだ。
Fujini sits back down and finishes her breakfast quickly.
はい、ごちそうさま。朝ごはん今日も美味しかったよ、さくらちゃん。
はい、お粗末様でした、先生。
それじゃあ先に行くわね。二人とも遅刻したら怒るわよ。
And she runs off. There's something wrong with the world in which that thing is a teacher. Thing.
先輩？
すまない。せっかくの朝食だっていうのに藤根のやつろくに味わいもしないで。
いえ、そういうのではなくて、昨日藤村先生に何かしたんですか？
いや、それがさ、昨日ついあだ名で呼んじまった。
それじゃあ仕方ありませんね。先輩、藤村先生に謝らなかったんでしょう。
めんぼくない。いつものことなんで忘れてた。
ダメですよ。藤村先生、先輩にあだ名を言われるのだけは嫌がるんですから。
Hope not.
泣かした上にダットのごとく走り去らせた。おかげで昨日の英語は自習だった。
And was awarded a student honor written on a note paper, but I threw it away.
もう、それじゃあ、今朝のは先輩が悪いです。
Fujini is like a big sister for Sakura, so she's basically on Fujini's side. That's good in its own way, but I wish you consider my situation where I have to deal with Fujini 24. Fuji was originally an acquaintance of father's, and she's been coming to the house ever since I was adopted. She started to show up even more after father died, and now she's almost a dependent, eating breakfast and dinner here. No. Maybe she's why I was able to make it on my own even after father died. Fujini, Sakura, and I are another residents of the Emiya household. But I'm the only one who knows that my father was a magus. It's said that Magi must hide their true identities. That's why I've been hiding the fact that I'm learning magic ever since I became my father's student. I say I'm learning, but I can't even cast a single magic spell properly. With this kind of skill, it wouldn't make much difference whether I hide it or not. But because of how my father wanted things, I've trained secretly ever since then. I finish breakfast and prepare for school. I'll clean the dishes with Sakura while listening to the news on TV. Sakura is staring at the TV screen. Over the screen runs an exaggerated teletype reading. Gas leak accidents continue. Oh man, you gotta watch out for those gas leaks. They're coming. It seems there's a big accident in the neighboring town of Shinto. It happened in a building in the business district. It seemed a whole floor of people ran out of oxygen and fell unconscious. They've called it a gaslight, but this kind of accident's happening often recently. I bet, man. I bet.
今のニュース気になるのか、さくら。
いえ、別に。ただ、事故が信徒で起きているなら近いなって。先輩、信徒の方でアルバイトしていますよね。
してるけど、別にそんな大きな店じゃないよ。今のニュースみたいな事故は起きないと思う。
But that's not a risk I can completely ignore. Gas accident happen in any building, and on top of that, it hurts to think that hundreds of people are suffering. It said that the accidents are happening often because of defective construction during the rapid development of Shinto. Whether that's true or not, I still don't want any more victims.
物騒な話だ。俺たちも気をつけないと。
それならご心配なく先輩。ガスの元栓はいつも2回チェックしてますから安心です。
Sakura boasts the pride.
いや、そういう話でなくて。
Yeah, I've thought it so before, but Sakura's a bit off too.
先輩、裏手の戸締まりはしました？
したよ。缶抜きかけたけど問題あるか？
ありません。それじゃあ鍵かけますね。先輩、
少し遅くなると思う。さくらは？
私はいつも通りです。多分私の方が早いと思いますから、夕食の下準備は済ませておきますね。
うん、助かる。俺もできるだけ早く帰るよ。
We locked the gate. Sakura and Fujini have keys to my house, and the rule is that the last person out locks up.
行こうか。急がないと朝練に間に合わない。
それじゃあ少しだけ急ぎましょうか、先輩。
We walked down the town together, passing a long wall and going downhill. We reached the residential district. My house is on the top of the hill, far away from the center of town. Going down the hill takes you to the residential district, and beyond that, we reach the crossroads at the center of this town. From here, there are many roads, a big bridge leading up to the neighboring city, a hill road that leads to the Ryuru Temple, the residential district on the other side of town, the shopping district Sakura and I always use, and the school we're heading to right now. We head for the school without stopping elsewhere. We don't talk much as we walk up the hill. Since it's still 7 o'clock, there aren't many others on the road. Other than us, all you can see are a few others heading to the morning practices.
それじゃあまたな。部活頑張れよ。
I approach Sakura at the school gate like usual. Sakura's in the archery club, so we have to park here in the mornings. But today, Sakura doesn't go.
さくら、体の調子悪いのか？
いえ、そういうことじゃなくて、先輩、たまには道場の方に寄っていきませんか？
いや、別に道場に用はないぞ。それに今日は一斉に頼まれてるから生徒会室に行かないとまずい。
そうですよね。ごめんなさい。余計なことを言っちゃって。
Sakura bows.
それじゃあ失礼します。晩ご飯楽しみにしていてくださいね。
Sakura rolls out like she's ashamed of something. I wonder what that was all about. Alright guys, I'm gonna end it here as we are listening to a long video, probably one of my longer ones. I don't want to make it too long, so, just cutting it off here. Hopefully we will be able to finish day 1 on the next video. This for sure is going to be a longer series. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe if you would like to see more of me. I am going to be doing more fake content, and I am going to be doing lots of new things. So if you'd like to see that, hit that red button, make sure you hit the bell to get notifications. And new or not, drop a like if you enjoy this. It lets me know that this is something people want to see and something that I should keep putting out. So with that, thank you for watching and goodbye.